color.
Hiya, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my wonderful people filled with greatness. You girls back at it with some more Cafe Unshot. So where we left off was that darn world tree ruining everybody's life in Medio. So let's get back into it at the tail end of chapter 2 into chapter 3. A quake strong enough to shake all of Medio and World Tree's devouring of fairies. Something is definitely happening here. Even as I run, I carefully keep an eye out for any other abnormalities, but so far, outside of the confusion among the fairies, there is nothing unusual. And by the time I rush over, an exhausted Titania is being nursed by a Vindog.
Titania.
It does feel a little awkward coming back after Vindog told me he did not want to see me, but right now is not the time for more arguing. That's from Vindog. Vindog silently reacts to my inquisitive look.
ごく短時間だったようですが、世界樹の根に近い箇所でホールらしきものが開いたと報告がありました。それもどうやら世界樹の幹をえぐり取るような形で。
宣告の振動はそれが原因か。ではティタニアのその様子、世界樹が彼女の命を。
ええ、損傷を受けた世界樹が傷を癒すために補填したんでしょう。姉さんの生命力の大半を栄養素として。
Wrong course of action. Vindog already not liking you. Now you're gonna sit there and attack his sister? Wrong move. That's from Canus.
それにこのホールの影響が偶発的な事故だと嘆いたところで世界樹が理解を示してくれるはずもない。きっと世界樹は考えるでしょうね。500年前のあの時と同じく外部からの攻撃だと。
The same as 500 years ago. If so, what is bound to happen?
わしは心配いらぬ。だが問題はここからじゃろう。このまま影響がわしのみで済むならばそれに越したことはないが。
That's from Vindog.
残念ながらすでに遅いようだ。
I tell them of what I saw earlier. Then the two of them grow pale.
世界樹に食われた。ちょっと。
ああ、間違いない。
確かニエは1週間前に捧げたばかりでしたね。
I surely did. It just wasn't enough. Right. Normally, the world tree would be satiated for at least a month with that offering, but it continued to feed, which can only mean one thing.
足りぬ。単にそういうことなのだろう。
This is that tree being greedy. That's wild.
宣告を起きたという幹への影響を考えれば、世界樹としてはより多くの命を飲み込むべきと考えるのは道理。
That's from the queen.
どうにしろ避けられませんね。500年前と同じことになる。世界樹が満足するまでただ待つか、それとも。
That's from me. I understand the meaning of his gaze. I shall bring death upon more fairies. Oh man. Oh. As the fairy of death and offer those lives to the world tree. I understand. That's from the queen.
どうしてわしらはただ平穏を求めているだけだというのに、なぜこ
恨むべきは幹をえぐり散らしたホールか、それともそれを機に動き出す世界樹か、はたまたそれらを織りなす運命か、それは僕にも分かりません。いずれにせよ起きてしまったことはもう元に戻せませんよ姉さん。悲劇は起きる。昨日までの平和が崩れ去るのがたまたま今日だった。それだけです。
That's so unfortunate. I thought the fairy world would be, just magical, filled with loving fairies, no problems with having to offer sacrifices and such. Man, this is really messed up, y'all. That's from the queen. That's from Canus. That's from Vendog. I know, I'm feeling it too. That's from me in real life. Behind the cat, I mean.
少し席を外します。カヌス、姉さんを任せても。
構わぬが、どこへ。
えぐられたという幹の様子を見に、正確な情報を得るためにも被害を確認すべきでしょう。
ならば我も。
結構です。あなたは姉さんの様子を。今は落ち着いたとはいえ、また倒れられても困りますから。それに二人で今一度考えるといい。どうすることが最善なのか。
That's from Canus. That's from the queen.
わしがどれだけ心を砕こうとも、カヌスが同胞殺しの罪をかぶろうとも、たった一つの不運が、たった一つのホールのせいで、この世界中はまた悲劇を、無数の同胞を喰らうというのか。
Once Vendog walks away, Titania's voice loses some of its strength. We got some dash marks this time. Then dots from Canus. As I recall the reason and the tragedy, I lower my head as I once did when I made that vow to her.
生まれた理由はこの妖精界を守る騎士として悲劇の目を刈り取るため。
The words spill out naturally.
メディオに生きるあらゆるものへと死を告げる妖精として生まれた。
カヌス。
何が最善なのかは分からない。だが我がこれからやらねばならぬことは分かる。メディオに平和を取り戻すため世界中が養分を欲しているのならそれを与えるしかあるまい。
That's from the Queen.
わしが妖精女王として、いや、世界樹の花嫁として責務を果たすことができていれば。
謝罪の必要などない。我のやることは変わらぬ。いつも通りのこと。そう、これは我にとってただの日常だ。
Yes. I feel like I've said something similar to her. You say it's daily life, but why is it that you in such pain? That's from Canus.
違う。我は何も苦しんでなど。
カヌス。
いや、支障ない。我は早速行動に移る。ある程度の時間の後、報告に戻る。
I exit the Nexus and am overwhelmed by the amount of blood red foliage. Can you really do it? The leaves shuffling in the wind ask me. Those innocent fairies, and even more so your own heart, can you really do this? Yeah, that's from Canus. You need to get your friends, man. We got the squad on deck. One thing Persona taught you is, well, you can go it alone, but it's easier if you have your network of friends. I swing at the shadows formed by dawn and continued walking with my sword in hand. Do not think of it. Not now. Do not give in to Renoni's kindness, which is me. But not as Canus right now. As the other me. The only time I should be thinking about her is when I'm at the cafe. For now, just focus on the task at hand. More doubts from me? Right. Don't think about it. Once this is all over, I can take the time to determine whether I have the right to see her. With all of this blood on my hands, back at Enchant, the real world supposedly. That day, Karya is visiting the GPM headquarters for his scheduled testing. The testing concluded without issue, and on the way home...
ああ、そうだ、カリア君。これからアンシャンテへ行くのかい？
そのつもりだけど。ひょっとして、また今日もミシェルたちの体の一部をこっそり取ってこいとかいう話？
またとはなんだね。まるで僕がマッドサイエンティストみたいじゃないか。
I just love Akira's laugh. It's wholesome, but yeah, he does sound like a mad scientist here.
いや、むしろそうとしか思ってないけど。
I agree, Karya.
まあ、彼らの研究もしたいところだが、今回の要件はだね。林道に これを渡してほしいんだよ。
何これ、メモリ？
世界樹についての追加報告書さ。つい先ほどようやくまとまってね。それなりに重要なことが書かれているから忘れずに渡してくれると助かるよ。いや、それにしても妖精界メディオがあんな危険と隣り合わせの世界だなんてね。カリア君、君も訪問の際は気をつけたまえよ。
Right. I'm discovering that too now. Just last chapter.
さーて、それじゃクーちゃん、仕事終わりにちょっと早めのディナーと行こうか。どこのレストランがいいかな。やっぱり夜景の綺麗な。
待ったミカドさん、その話詳しく聞きたいんだけど。
Right, you're not just gonna say that and then just go on to what you're gonna eat for dinner. You gotta clarify. You gotta expand on what you just said right there, my guy.
ああ、やっぱり妖精の端くれとしては気になるかい。
In response to Karya's momentous inquiry, Mikado speaks up with agreement. I'm sure you've already heard it from Rendo, but based on my analysis, it's been discovered that the world tree of the fairy world Medio originates from plant life on Earth. The Siglaria. Just the Sig. That is the species of the ancient tree. Well, the ancient world tree is closely related to. The Sig itself has long been extinct, at least in the human world, so this is known as the seal tree, giant trees said to have grown in ancient times. When its large leaves fall, they would leave hexagon or rhombus-shaped marks on the trunk, resembling the sigil of a seal, thus giving it its name. So yeah. I'm just gonna say the Sig, y'all. But, however, even in the present day, various related species still exist, so it's undoubtedly a human world plant. In other words, no matter how much it has changed due to the effects of the fairy world, the basic biological characteristics, receiving sunlight, conducting photosynthesis, and requiring nutrients from land and water should be no different from regular plant life. In fact, no matter how we look at it, the world's tree leaves still fit within the definition of a plant. However, I've arrived at one problem. There are limits to how much a life can grow. One of the theories, the extinction of dinosaurs. I'm dealing with the extinction in all my games, from Death Stranding now to this game. I'm sure Mafia is going to have some type of people causing an extinction or whatnot. Just what else? So, the extinction of dinosaurs explains the difficulty of nourishing their giant bodies. Then what about the world tree? Even if Medio has distorted its growth, it's hard to believe a world-engulfing plant can sustain itself with just water and sunlight. In which case, there's only one thing I can think of. The world tree undoubtedly receives nutrition externally. If so, what does the world tree feed on, considering it sits at the top of the food chain in Medio? I think you get it now. That's right. Basically, the entire world of Medio, the home of the fairies, is probably its feeding ground. Well dang. It has been a week since Canus shut me down at Medio and the day after the regulars helped me out. Today is one of those rare days where no one has come to the cafe, so I am in the backyard watering the plants. That's for me. The showering water makes a rainbow. The colorful flowers that Canus usually waters were swaying lonesome, perhaps because he's not here.
その上で君はどうしたい？
I did go back, y'all. I went to choose do nothing, and it basically just ends the chapter. So I'm glad I chose to carry on and be all nosy. More dots from me. What do I want? The answer to Miss Sears' question hasn't arrived after a whole day of thinking. There are so many feelings of uncertainty swirling around in my heart. The moment I try to make sense of them, they crumble away like sand. That's from me. The answer is within my reach. The answer is right here inside of my heart.
これ以上は我に踏み込むな。少なくともソウアン殿はそうだった。
Even so, I'm afraid of being rejected. I feel you on that. Nobody likes being rejected. I tear up at my weakness and cowardice. Don't tear up. Cheer up. When I was a child, there were so many things I wanted to do, and I was brave enough to express myself. But that strength after graduating from school and working at a Ooh, you don't know how much I feel this. Like, y'all don't know. You just have the whole world ahead of you. You feel like you're Superman or Supergirl in my case, and that you could just... The world's your oyster, and then you live life, you do jobs, and then all of a sudden you just lose focus of your dream. What makes you happy? So don't ever give up on your dream, y'all. So, and working at a local company and being crushed by the weight of reality slowly disappeared. And before I realized it, I was surrounded by things I didn't want. Even though I tried to avoid them, I had forgotten my honest desires and wants of doing more. That's right. Until I took over as the owner of Enchant, I didn't just end up here. This is the place I chose. My Enchant. I repeat the words Rindo mentioned. The more I think, the more I realize Grandpa and the regulars are why I chose this place. Even when I took over, everyone encouraged me. I finally was able to reach out and do what I truly wanted to do. Will I be able to reach out again? What I want to do. That is, I want to see Canus. Vocalizing my thoughts allow me to be honest with myself, but I just can't muster up the courage to broadcast these feelings to him. More dots for me.
失礼。
Vindog! I needed a break. I needed some Vindog in my life. What's up? Huh? Vindog?
お邪魔してます。来店しても出迎えがなかったので、勝手に歩き回らせてもらいました。
I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the doorbell ringing. I know I'm a little late, but welcome. I'll be right there once I wash my hands, so go ahead and have a seat and... Dots from Vindog. What's the matter?
この場所、見事なものだと思いました。
Why, thank you. I guess this is the first time Vindog has seen the backyard. While I watch his gently squinted gaze caress the flower bed, it feels as though I am being praised. It's quite flattering. This flower bed is Canus's work. All of those flowers all came from here.
これだけの花をそれはまた顔に似合わず。いや、顔はないのでしたね。
You're not just gonna keep flaming my dude. Talking about it doesn't fit his face. Not that he has a face. It just tickles me every time, y'all. It really does. That Canus, he does look a little intimidating, but he's actually very delicate and caring. When I first met him, I judged him based on his looks, but now I know that Canus is a very kind person. The fact that he tends to these flowers every day so they don't wither, and how the townsfolk rely on him a lot, and how the children look up to him, being able to mention any of those says a lot about his character. And as I keep going on like this for a bit, Vindog chuckles bitterly and squints. Is that all you're gonna do? Chuckle, squint?
あなたは随分とカヌスを観察していますね。
I sure have. You think?
数百年の時を共に過ごした僕や姉さんよりもずっと彼を理解している。
Dang, centuries and you still don't know Canus? Why don't you open your mouth? Ask questions. That's from me. That's not true. The words that just came out of my mouth sound somewhat timid because the only Canus I know is the Canus that frequents this cafe. Whatever he's going through is something I'm not allowed to get involved with. Having said that, I'm sure Vindog won't understand what I'm talking about. But I can't stay silent about it. Dots from me. I said I can't stay silent, but then dots. Dots from Vindog. Then
カヌスに拒絶されたことが相当答えたようですね。
it is. Huh?
しかしあの首なし騎士もこれ以上踏み込むななどともっと言い方があったでしょうに。
Yeah, there was. He was tripping. But in a way, I do understand still. How do you know that? Could it be... Did Canus tell you?
いえ、見ていましたから。あなたが泣くところまで一部始終。
Oh man. I've been caught. Not paying any attention to my shock, Vindog lowers his
あ
shoulders.
なたは真面目すぎるのです。言葉のすべてを真正面から正直に受け止めすぎている。
I do. I agree with that. My character and myself.
カヌスに用があるのであれば、カヌスの言葉など無視してやればいい。自らの希望を叶えるには行動があってこそ、そうでしょう。
Right. But it's not that easy. Acting without thinking will only...
では、悩んだままに現状維持に徹する方がいいと。
More dots from me. Those words, for some reason, sound like his temper is starting to seep out.
まったく、あなたもカヌスも姉さんも変なところがよく似ています。肝心の勇気を持つことができず、変革の痛みを恐れてその場にとどまり、事態が悪化するのを待つばかり。
Man, y'all, Vindog is hitting me where it hurts. This game is just, it's like opening up your chest and then playing Operation on your heart. It's just letting me know everything about myself I see. Let's continue.
時間は有限だったと気づいた時にはもう遅いの。
I know. But it's never too late as long as you can keep thinking, you can keep moving. I mean, as long as you're alive, it's never too late to change. That's from me. I know that staying inside my head forever won't solve anything, but if Canus doesn't want it, then I can't just ignore that.
どうしてそれがいけないのですか？
Huh?
突き詰めればあなたを拒絶したのも所詮はカネスの勝手によるものならばこっちも勝手にすればいいそれだけの話ではないですか？
Well, Vendog's words are awfully selfish. They are, but I can't quite deny it either.
少なくとも僕ならそうしますけどね。
You would? Even if the other person doesn't want you to, you would do what you want to do?
ええ、そのつもりですよ。相手が望まずとも拒否してもその道が不幸に続くと分かっている以上
I love me some Vendog, y'all. Vendogging.
たとえ嫌われようと僕ならそれを止める道を選ぶ大切な人に幸せになってほしいその気持ちに勝るものなど存在しないでしょ
Wow. So even if society deems it a selfish act, Vendog smiles. Unlike his usual sarcastic smile, it is rather gentle.
あなたは違うのですか
I don't, Vendog. I'm in full agreement with you. Let me go ahead and save. Save it up. Save it up right here. Let's see. I agree. Let's just choose. I disagree. Just to see what my character is gonna say. I disagree. I can never do that. I'm too afraid of being rejected to stick to my own guns, even if it means I'll be rejected. I don't think I'm brave enough to do that.
そうですかですが
Yeah, I know. I know that things can't stay like this. That at this rate, Canus will only drift further and further away. I'm well aware of it. So, I want to see him and talk to him. Not as the owner of Enchant, as he wants me to be, but as myself. Just ordinary Renoni. Canus, why did you push me away? I want to meet him face to face and hear him out. Once I vocalize my true feelings, the winds carry my words through the flowers. Vendog, my only audience, applauds my small outburst. So I wonder if I chose I agree. It seems like I'm coming to the same conclusion here. So I guess I won't go back.
まるで愛の告白ですねぜひ次はカネスの前でどうぞ
Well, I'm nosy, so I'm gonna go back just to see. So I agree. I agree. As I vocalize my thoughts, I feel as though it gave me courage. No matter how Canus feels about me, I want to make Canus smile. I can't stand to see him not happy. There we go. Even though he's faceless, my feelings probably won't change. So, and I'll repeat it again. I want to see him and talk to him, not as the owner of Enchant as he wants me to be, but as myself, just ordinary Renoni. Canus, why did you push me away? I want to meet him face to face and hear him out. Once I vocalize my true feelings, the winds carry my words through the flowers. Vendog, my only audience, applauds my small outburst.
まるで愛の告白ですねぜひ次はカネスの前
A confession of love. I love all I love. True love. Hey, don't make fun of me.
何にせよ心が定まったのはいいことです。では行くとしましょうか。
Where to?
は？何を寝ぼけたことを。当然今からメディオにですよ。善は急げと言うでしょ。
Let's go. What? Right now? Wait, I need some time to mentally prepare.
不要です。というか僕がここで帰ると次はカリア少年が来店するの
Sure.
でメディオには来られないでしょう。
Oh, that's right.
精神力の弱いあなたはそんな時間を与えたが最後またうじうじと悩みそうですし
You ain't gotta talk about our human minds like that, Vin Dog.
決意が鈍らぬうちに行動すべきです。何か反論は
I can't object. It feels like I've been forced into all of this, but I decided to follow Vin Dog's suggestion and start walking. In a rush, I change into my normal clothes and leave a note to the absent regulars announcing the cafe's temporary closure. Then we make our way to the fairy world. Just as I did the first time I visited, I followed behind Vin Dog, but unlike my first
こ
trip,
こから幹の外周を通ります。下は見ないことをお勧めしますよ。
yeah, because you got trees eating everybody and such. Waking up early on that Animal Crossing.
この先は道が分かれています。間違ってもはぐれないように。
That's for me.
突然笑い出してどうしたのです。何か面白いことでも。
Oh, nothing. It's nothing like that. It's just that, unlike last time, you're actually paying me some attention. I just feel like, compared to when we met, we've come a long way, you know? That's from Vin Dog, since we over here guessing genders. But I still think Vin Dog's a woman, but you know, it is what it is.
別に仲良くなった覚えはありません。道に迷われると困るというだけです。
His standoffish attitude doesn't change. Still, I think he's gone a little soft on me. Yeah, even with when Vin Dog was so cold, I've been able to get closer. So maybe I can with Canus too. As I continue thinking of that, I suddenly noticed something. Huh? Hey, Vin Dog.
何か
Isn't Medio awfully quiet today? Usually there are fairies flying around every which way. They would usually flock around me without having to say anything. But today, for some reason, not a single one. Suddenly the world jolts. Ah! And with the jerking motion, sounds of leaves shuffling against each other echo in the surrounding like breaking waves. What was that?
静かに慌てないでください。
Eventually,
怖い逃げないと
oh man, you got the fairies scared and everything. Oh my goodness. From the shaken branches, like a bird flying away, a lone fairy appears from between the leaves and soars through the sky. But in the fairy's path is a large bulging branch, oddly shaped in the form of a tentacle. Well, I know where this is going. Oh my gosh, it swallows the fairy whole. See, I knew where that was going. Y'all get your mind out of the gutter. What do you think I meant when I said tentacles? I meant the tentacles of death. Huh? What just happened? That's from Vendog. Vendog, what just happened?
そう騒がずとも結構僕も確かに見ましたからこうして直接目にすると嫌なことを思い出しますね
Bad memories? That's from Vendog.
この先も同じようなことが起こる可能性は否定できませんなので僕から離れないように離れた場合の安全は保証できないので
So Vendog don't care about me. He just care about me not getting hurt because he know everybody at Cafe and Shant would slice and dice his face. Her face. What? Wait, what's happening to Medio? A flashback of the story Karia told me stops me in my tracks. But Vendog shakes his head and continues walking without stopping.
危険を知らせぬまま連れてきたことに関しては謝罪します
Oh, but we had to get Canus. Well, I was gonna say we had to get Canus's head on track, but that boy ain't got no head.
ですが今この世界にはあなたの存在が必要なのですカヌスの戦う理由として
So you gotta put me in danger in order to get Canus to fight. See, what is it with using women to get men to fight? First it was Double A and Death Stranding to get Daryl Sand to fight. Now it's me as Renoni trying to get Canus to fight. This is some crazy. Stop using women as bait. Women can solve things too. What do you mean? Even though I ask for clarification, Vendog doesn't answer me. All I can do for now is follow Vendog, who suggests I'll find out sooner than later. Thereafter, for better or for worse, nothing unusual occurs. By the time Vendog leads me to the Nexus, there is a cool crisp in the air as autumn falls upon us. Canus, Titania! The two standing at the throne gasp as they notice me. Renoni, since he didn't want to talk.
どういうことじゃなぜそなたがここに
もちろん僕が連れてきたからですが
Oh, he mad. That's that mad Canus energy. Even though it's my favorite color of purple, it's like that malevolent purple color.
いきなり掴みかかるとは穏やかではないですね、カヌス。
Right. And where are he grabbing at? I don't even see. Well, it's a visual novel.
連れてきただと何のつもりだベンニア今の妖精界の状況が分かっていないお前ではあるまい
ええ、だからこそですよ。
While shoving away Canus's grasping hands, Vendog replies indifferently.
正直、ここ最近のあなたの様子は見るに耐えないものでした。ろくに戦えない僕でも呆れてしまうほどお粗末と言っていいでしょう。 そんな状態でよくも妖精界を守ろうなどと言えたものですね。
That's from Canus. Canus doesn't respond, as if to admit that Vendog's words held some truth.
あなたにはこの後説明しますが、今このメディオは危機に陥っています。
Danger? Like what happened earlier? A quake that nearly shook the entire world, and immediately after that, a fairy was eaten by the world tree.
さすがに異世界に多く触れてきただけありますね。察しが良くて助かります。
Yeah, because we've been to everybody's world except for Miss Ears. Don't think I forgot about you, sir.
その危機に対処するためには、カヌスの力が不可欠なのですが、彼は今、ふぬけきっている。
He called Canus a wimp. And him looking all like that. Dang, Canus, you just gonna let Vendog call you a wimp like that? Wimp-tastic.
ゆえに、その原因を取り除くべく、あなたにご足労を願ったのです。
Vendog lightly pushes my back and I stumble forward. Canus? That's from Canus. His expressionless helmet stares down at me. And I'm not getting a good feeling with his colors, man. Let's go. I've been dying to see him again and talk to him, but I don't know if I'm upset or disappointed. I can't find the words now that I'm here. That's for me. We face each other in silence for a minute.
カヌス、あなたの不調の原因は誰よりあなた自身が分かっているはず。僕にここまでさせたのですから、早くその問題を解消することですね。
Vendog says as he pushes on our backs. Leaving the worried Titania behind, he leads us away from the throne. The two of us walk the crimsoned tree. That's for me. That's from Canus. This is awkward. Really awkward. If only the others were here, at least we'd have something to talk about. But when it's just the two of us, I struggle to put words together. And by the time Canus finally opens his mouth, the splashes of the waterfall softly hit us. Canus is shocked here. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry for showing up all of a sudden. Now there's that light under the hood, that helmet that I like to see. That's for me. You're wrong. I softly interject as I search for the words to say to him. He said a lot of things, but they're not the only reasons. It was my decision to come here because I wanted to talk to you. That's from Canus. I'm not gonna let you get out saying that again to me twice. But I do. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you dots. I do. I have so much to tell you, so many words, so many feelings. I have so many, Canus. Every time a word leaves my mouth, Canus's flames wave. No matter how hard he tries to hide it, his body language says it all. Yeah, more dots from you, Canus.
それは今でなくてはならぬ話か。
It surely does.
全てが終わって我がいつかまたアンシャンテへ顔を出すようになってからではダメなのか。
Well, we do have more urgent, pressing matters at hand. My feelings, I suppose, could wait. But I'm gonna say it anyway if I was in this situation. That's for me, though.
今この妖精界メディオは極めて危険な状況に置かれている。こうして話をしている余裕もないのだ。それは道中であなたも気がついただろう。
Yes, I saw a fairy get eaten by the world tree. And a long time ago, something similar happened, right?
なぜそれをベンニーヤから聞いたのか。
I shake my head in response. While you were absent from Enchant, the other patrons and I were curious about Medio. That's from Canus. Coincidentally, Karia came out to his parents regarding his identity and was researching his origins. And as we expected, one of his ancestors was a fairy. It was Karia's great-grandmother. Then we all heard the stories that she would tell through the word of mouth. That Medio's world tree terrorizes fairies. And that the one keeping the world tree at bay is the one known as the world tree bride. That bride is referring to Titania, isn't it? That's from Canus. There is a brief moment of silence. As if to show indecisiveness, the flames on his neck wave a few times. And finally,
おおむねその認識は正しい。だがそれはいささか古すぎる情報だ。
how so?
東大の世界中の花嫁は
Ah,
すでに世界中を沈めるだけの力を持たぬ。故に我が死を告げる妖精である我がその役目の一部を果たしているのだ。妖精を殺しその魂を世界中へ捧げることで
Canus, while gazing at the waterfall mist, begins to talk quietly about the truths of the fairy world, Medio, and the world tree. In the beginning, it started with one small seed. A seed brought from a foreign world was planted into this soil. Its compatibility with this world was good, or rather, it may have been too good. Immediately after it was planted, the tree grew at an alarming speed. It instantly surpassed the height of a human, covering the ground and reaching the skies. It swallowed the surrounding vegetation while incorporating various plants and flowers. Finally, it grew so big that it had covered the entirety of the world's surface. That is how the world tree came to be. However, there was a side effect. To becoming such a massive tree, the world tree grew so big it became unable to sustain itself with only sunlight and water as energy sources. Then one day, the world tree began to consume fairies. It transformed its branches and roots into tentacles to attack the fairies and to devour them. None could escape them as long as they live in Medio. The very branches they stood on could turn into a threat in an instant. Other healthy fairies would find this concept of death confusing. Then, 1/3 of the population had been eaten. The fairies were overwhelmed with fear. As a last resort, a sacrifice was made to tame the world tree. It was originally an ancient plant from the human world, the Sig. It mutated due to growing in a world other than its homeland. It grew too large, went out of control, and went to the top of the food chain seeking fairies for nourishment. That was the World Tree Bride. By connecting a sacrificial fairy to a device built at the nexus of the World Tree, the fairy's soul will be used as an efficient source of nutrition. This tactic proved highly effective. With enough nutritional supply, the World Tree finally ceased his attacks. Thereafter, every time a bride's soul was completely consumed, a new bride was offered. This is the self-sustaining system of Medio. What? That's really dark. That's not cool. Hold on, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay. I just got all out of whack after seeing this part. This is not cool. The coveted title of Fairy Queen was created in order to disguise the ugly truth of sacrifice. It was merely a mask to cover up the fact that the World Tree Bride is a sacrifice. Dots. Of course, not all fairies supported the idea of this system of sacrifice. There were those who spoke out boldly against creating a world of sacrifices. Vindog. I'm probably my Canus too. However, those voices were quickly hushed. If all it takes is a single sacrifice, and as long as they weren't chosen, it only makes sense to live this way. However, after a long history of sacrifices, there was one fairy that dared to change the world and waged war against the World Tree. This looking like Legend of Zelda. The Fairy of Death, Banshee. The Fairy of Death that is born once in a generation. She is my predecessor. And the eldest sister of Vindog and Titania, born at the same time and place as the two. After Titania took the queen's throne and offered her soul to the World Tree, she decided to fight for her younger sister and challenge the World Tree all on her own. Well, I can only guess what happened. More dots. Several more dots. What happened to Miss Banshee? Dots from Canus. Right. In other words, oh my gosh, this story, I'm just thinking, y'all, this is really getting dark now. I'm thinking this game is just gonna be about serving like coffee talk vibes and maybe a bit of tavern talk, even though I haven't finished the game. But this right here is not what I signed up for. All right. Canus says as he looks up at the sky as if he was talking about his own defeat. No way. She tried to save Titania and fought desperately, right? even then, that's from Canus.
そうだな。妹を救いたかった彼女の気持ちは決して責められる類のものではない。だがバンシーはあまりに戦力だった。
Yeah, you needed like an army or something. I guess she didn't want to take fairies or enlist the help of other people from other worlds. Oh man.
自らの無謀な戦いがその後に何をもたらすかを考えていなかった。いや、あるいは考えていたかもしれないが、それでもなお逃げとされた妹のために武器を取らずにはいられなかったのかもしれない。
Banshee was in fact defeated. Despite that, she had left a deep wound in the World Tree, the result of which is the destruction of this dreadful system known as the World Tree Bride. So now you just gotta do sacrifices from other fairies. Oh my goodness, this is crazy, y'all. Because of her attack, the throne was damaged and the bride was rendered dysfunctional. For example, the World Tree would normally extract 10 units of energy from the bride per month. However, after that incident, the damaged throne was clearly supplying less energy. Compared to previously, the amount of energy it was able to extract plummeted to just 1 unit per month. In other words, from a certain perspective, Banshee's resistance was not in vain, but obviously at this point, the World Tree would not be satisfied with so little of the Queen's soul. The damaged World Tree, in order to heal its wound instinctively, just as it ran rampant in ancient times, it began devouring fairies relentlessly. With my predecessor's death, I was born in the midst of it all. As I came into being, the first things I heard were, wow, the screams of the devoured fairies. I opened my eyes and the first things I saw were the faces of the fairies drenched in despair. The fairy of death is born with some of the knowledge of past fairies of death. That was no exception for me. Without knowing for myself, but driven by the lingering memories, I gazed at the fleeting fairies, clenched my sword, and swung down. The memories were pleading with me that even if I fought the World Tree, it would be impossible to defeat it. If so, as a knight that protects Medio, what am I to do? The answer I arrived at was to kill fairies with my own hands. This is the role of the Fairy of Death. By killing fairies, we return their souls to the world. Rather than the World Tree devouring the fairies, it is far more efficient for my killing to make the necessary offerings. In other words, the more I kill with my own hands, the less casualties we have in the end. So, Canus.
妖精たちを切り続けた。
I had no time to choose, no time for my heart to fight reality. As soon as I was born, I stabbed. Without a sense of my own will, without knowing what I wanted to do or what I should do, without anybody guiding me, I cut, and cut some more. Until the World Tree was tamed, I kept killing fairies. I killed, and the World Tree ate. Eventually, when the World Tree became silent, nearly 1/10 of the fairy population remained. This was the cost of finally satisfying the World Tree, but that was not the end of everything. The World Tree thought it entered into temporary dormancy. As long as the World Tree Bride was dysfunctional, the World Tree would one day awake. Yes, another name for the fairy queen, a bride in name only. In reality, she offers her own life force to the world tree to stop its rampage. In other words, one chosen to become sacrificed to provide the world tree its nourishment. That is why, after discussing with Titania, I decided to continue killing fairies. I see a fairy, it's death and execute it. That is, my life as the fairy of death. All is for the protection of Medio, to maintain peace in my home of Medio. My words were cut off. A moment of silence ensued as if to process the tragic story. The spray from the waterfall splashed upon my cheek like a spray of blood. That's from me.
わかるか？すべてはバンシーの無謀な行動の代償。定めに抗ったゆえの悲劇。
The predecessor to Canus as the Fairy of Death. She was the elder sister to Titania and Vindog.
妹を救おうと思った優しく純粋な気持ちなどもはや何の慰めにもならぬ。彼女の行動は結果としてより多くの不幸と死をまき散らした。
That's from me.
生まれ落ちた瞬間から同胞殺しを天命とされたことをあなたが哀れむ必要はない。生きる者は皆何かしらの宿命を持つ。我はたまたま
Yes, a fairy that kills any being in the fairy world with the ability to return their soul to the world. The greatest and only combat force in the fairy world. Only one exists in the fairy world and inherits past memories and duties when a new one is born.
誰を恨むことも何を嘆くことも必要ない。生まれは選ぶことはできぬとしてもその道を歩むと決めたのは
Canus.
我自身。そう、この道を選んだのは他ならぬ我自身なのだ。
To protect the world from the world tree going out of control, he killed countless fairies and returned them to the world tree. He still prophesies death and kills fairies regularly. A black knight who possesses a kind heart yet burdened with a heavy task. Canus is satisfied with this decision. With such definitive statements, I, without having first-hand experience, am unable to say anything further. Just dots. More dots. Dots from Canus.
我とて弱き者を殺すためにこの剣を振るいたくなどない。大切なものを守るために振るいたい。だが今の我にできるのはこれだけなのだ。
More dots from me. He speaks quietly. Canus, this kind knight, is trying to fulfill his role and is accepting reality for what it is. His strength is admirable, yet somewhat dangerous.
本当はあなたにここまで語る気はなかった。
Well, I know now, buddy boy.
それでも語ったのはこんな我を案じてここまで来てくれたあなたに対するせめてもの誠意だ。
Canus squares back up with me. Then he gently touches my tear-covered cheek.
その目だ。同情と憐憫と悲しみ。あなたにだけはそんな目で見られたくはなかった。我にとって安らぎの象徴たるあなたにはそんな目をさせたくないと思っていた。
And there is no way for me to find out what sort of emotions were in Canus's eyes as he tells me these things, whether he's crying or grieving or in pain, without knowing any of
優
it.
しい喫茶店で 明るく優しい瞳のまま出迎えてほしかった。だがこうして全てを知ってしまった以上、きっとそれはもう叶わぬだろう。
That's from me. I always thought of Canus as a gentle person. He loves flowers and protects the weak, a person that will always lend a hand. I've always believed that. That is probably why I was so shocked to see him cutting down a fairy that day. I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to believe it was an imposter because it just didn't match up with the person I knew very well. But I was mistaken. That's from me. I place my trembling palm over Canus's hand that touches my cheek. The gentle hand that cares for the flower bed is also a powerful hand that wields a sword. What I see is both versions of Canus, all of him.
あなたを責める気はない。だが一言だけ言わせてくれ。
The inherent kindness in the mission given at his birth, the doula hand that carries this contradiction gazes deeply at me with invisible eyes. Me, Renani.
どうしてここへ来た？
Because
どうして全てを知らぬまま我をあの店で出迎えてくれなかった？ どうして知ってしまったのだ。
he sounded neither angry or accusatory. Rather, his tones suggested that he has lost something dear to him. That's from me. I quietly clear my throat. Oh, let me save right here. I wanted to know more about you. I mean, I was worried about you. At the end of my internal debate, I was worried about you. What came out of my mouth was my own honest feeling.
心配。
According to me, you are an important person. No matter what you say to me, I will worry about you, Canus. That's from Canus.
あなたが来た理由は分かった。我を思ってくれたからこそというのは素直に嬉しく思う。感謝もする。だがそれでも我があなたに望むのはたった一つだけだ。
What is that?
あの店でいつか我が戻るその日を変わらぬ笑顔で出迎えてほしい。ただそれだけだ。
I mean, let's get the friends on deck.
それ以上は何も望みません。
That's from me. So while we right here, let me go ahead and see what it was going to be of. I just wanted to know more about you. I wanted to know more about you. That's from Canus.
まだ言うのか。今まさに真実を知ったことで我もあなたも苦しんでいるのに、それでもなおその言葉を我に告げるのか。
Yes, I will, as much as it takes. I've told you before, for Enchant, for me too, you're a valued customer. That's from Canus. So it's almost similar. I want to know more about you, and I was worried about you. Nothing has changed. My feelings are still the same. The way you find joy in blooming flowers, the way you play with and care for children, and the way you mourn the fairies you've killed, and the way you resent pushing me away, all of it is Canus. That's why I'm glad to get to know a new you, even the things you just told me. More dots from Canus.
あなたが来た理由は分かった。我を思ってくれたからこそというのは素直に嬉しく思う。感謝もする。だがそれでも我があなたに望むのはたった一つだけだ。
What is that?
あの店でいつか我が戻るその日を変わらぬ笑顔で出迎えてほしい。ただそれだけだ。それ以上は何も望みはせぬ。
Back to the dots for me. More dots from me. Is that really what you want from me? Isn't that what you want from Enchant? Dashes from Canus. Not even the dots. We got dash symbols now. Canus shuts up as if he was called out. And I, as if to press him further, take a step forward to close our distance. Like a mirror image to his wiping my tears earlier, I gently reach both of my hands, to the cheek area of his helmet. Canus. Gently, I move my hands that are placed at his cheek. Oh, I feel like it's going to be a photo op moment. The helmet that was covering Canus's face, the helmet that Grandpa once told me to try on, fell to the ground and made a dry sound. Eee! Look. Oh, guys. Look at me, Canus Espada. Shut up! That's how I want to say it. Shut up and look at me. Look with your own eyes at who is standing in front of you. That's from Canus this time. You've told me once that humans and non-humans are different, that I should face that reality. And I did, ever since the day you told me you are non-human and I am human. You are the customer and I am the owner. There is definitely a separator between us. So when you rejected me, I kept thinking about it. During that period, I had caused a lot of trouble for the regulars. I couldn't focus on my job and made them worry about me. But I decided to come see you after some thinking and then some more thinking. Out of my own selfishness, out of my own will, regardless of human or non-human, I wanted to come see you on my own. That's why I'm here now, looking at you. So please, look at me too, Canus. That's from Canus. I just love sweet moments like this, y'all. I just get so into it. I just can't stop. I love the little photo op moments in this game. I really, truly do. Don't look away. I am not my grandfather. I am not Suan Awaki. I am the owner of Enchant, Renoni Awaki. Look at me. For Canus, Grandpa's Enchant was a very important place. He grieved his death enough to long for a replacement. That's me, Renoni Awaki.
あなたは我に現実を見据えろというのか。同胞殺しとしてメディオの者から恐れられ背を向けられる立場の我が。
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
やっとた どり着いた安息の地がもう存在しないのだと。
Nope.
この誰からも見えぬ瞳でその事実を見据えろというのか。
Yep, through your faceless face. That's right. Grandpa's cafe no longer exists. Aside from Titania and Vendog, Canus is feared by many of the fairies. As sure as flowers bloom in the morning, or the afternoon sunshine, are the colors of trees at sundown, are the night air chill. As the savior knight of the world, he spent his days alone carrying his sword. Confronting such a person with reality may be cruel, but I still need to say this. In order for him to acknowledge me. Y'all know I had to go there. Y'all know I love my wrestling. I am not my grandfather. As much as I want to carry on his wishes, I don't think I can fully encompass him. That's why I need you to accept me. The evolution of Enchant, me, and my cafe. That's me. I let go of his hand, but if I do so too brazenly, I'm afraid he'll disappear. Without stepping away from him, I place my cheek on his chest and softly speak to him. That's from me. I think that's an I right there too. I'm not sure. I want you to come to the cafe. I want you to come back. Not to a place where you have to hide, but a place where you can be yourself. I want to be with you where you belong. That's from Canus. I think more dots from Canus. Silence ensues for a while. I can't say that word. Ensues. Silence ensues for a while. All we can hear is the sound of the waterfall drifting between him and I. That's from Canus. Laughter from Canus.
なんと情けない姿だ。これではあなたに会ったばかりの頃のイグニスを笑えぬな。彼女の言う通りだ。イグニス、すべてに納得する必要はない。我とて未だ心は定まらぬ。ソーアン殿の影を見てしまうこともあるが、ひとまず今はソーアン殿はソーアン殿、彼女は彼女だと区別して見ることを優先すべきだろう。
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I've been through so many chapters. Only bits and pieces remember from the beginning of this whole journey. But he did say that. I'm glad he called himself out, because I surely forgot. So thank you for snitching on yourself, faceless man.
まさか他の誰よりもあの店にこだわっていたのが我だったとは。
Canus places his hands on my shoulders and stares at me with such an intensity.
シャンテの天使というその肩書きの持つ意味に縛られ続け、我はこれまでずっと何も見えていなかったのかもしれない。あなたとソーアン殿ではこんなにも違うというのに。
Without breaking eye contact, he looks straight at me. Are we that different?
違うとも。ソーアン殿は大樹のように構えて同時に懐の深さを持っていたが、あなたは一輪の花のように訪れる者の目を奪い心を和ませる、そんな優しさの持ち主だ。
Yeah, That was a little too much to take in, but
生還についてもまるで違う。ソーアン殿は非常に大雑把というか、その場のノリだけで値段から何から適当に決めていたが、あなたはそのあたりをきちんと考え、メニューまで細かく記載している。
Aw, he notices. It feels so good when someone notices you and your little habits and stuff like that. Eee. That's probably the normal thing to do as an owner. I can't help but let out a chuckle. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Canus and I finally smile at each other, and our smiles continue to grow. Eee.
あとは性別が違うせいか、やはり華やかさも異なると思う。
Oh, he over here trying to gas up my heart now. Of course, I'm way more beautiful than my grandpa.
ソーアン殿に比べると、あなたはずっと華奢で柔らかくて、動き一つ一つが愛らしくて。
Of course. I know, I'm just like Renoni right now. Y'all can't see it because I'm in my cat phase, but I'm blushing too behind my whole avatar. I really am.
そう。
Oh, I can't. I know I'm messing up now. Okay. Collect. Wait. Is this really that necessary right now?
当然だ。違いをはっきり見ろと言ったのはそちらの方だろう。
I did ask for the truth and nothing but the truth, so I'm dealing with the repercussions of that. I did, but
他にはそうだな。
no, gotta stop. I can feel Canus's gaze. It's like the time when he pretended to be asleep, but he's a lot more serious now and oozing some sort of emotion. Canus, it's the feeling of being in love, true love. That's from Canus. It's a little embarrassing to be stared at like this. Maybe that's enough for now.
断る。
No, this guy here said he refuses. What? You can't refuse. I am the owner of the cafe you frequent. Well, not recently, but y'all know.
愛らしい目鼻立ち、綺麗な瞳、内に秘めた優しさ、心根の強さ。
I know, he's gonna keep going. You're just gonna make me melt now.
どうして気づけなかったのか。一人の人間として、こうしてあなたを見てみれば、こんなにも違うというのに。
More dots from me. I wonder if Canus realizes how much he's embarrassing himself and that I am blushing at each one of his
ソ
words.
ーアン殿のアンシャンテは、包み込むような見守る優しさがあった。あなたのアンシャンテは、共に悩み歩んでくれるような親しさを感じる。無論、どちらが優れているかなどと比較できるものではないが。
Canus looks at me from a very close distance. His breath nearly touches me as he talks.
それでも我は
Oh,
あなたの店が好きだ。
Ski. The cafe loves you too, Canus, and so do I. I know! Exclamation mark.
いや、気づいていないだけで、ずっと前から好きだったのだろう。
His face draws near. A subtle warmth touches my cheek. Perhaps this is because he is softly placing his cheek onto mine.
確かに言えるのは、あなたのいるアンシャンテで過ごす日々が 何より大事だという事実。その日々を守りたい。その日々を失いたくない。この後メディオを包む状況がどうなるかはわからぬが。
No, we're gonna need to finish this chapter. We can't just leave the world tree be. We need the friends and on deck out here.
我は必ずあなたの店に戻る。
But as long as you promise, then that's the only thing I could do is take his promise. Yes. I'll help you, and I'm sure everyone else will as well. Monsieur, Tu, Ignis, Rendo, Karia, even Carrero. With all of us together, there's nothing we can't accomplish. Because we're friends and maybe something more.
ああ、そうだな。早く店に顔を出したいものだ。我の愛するあのアンシャンテに。
After thinking of Enchant, which he has not visited in a while, Canus slightly pulls away from me, quietly looks up at the sky, and starts to speak.
我はあの店に来店した時の響き渡るドアベルの音が好きだ。すぐに出迎えてくれるあなたの元気のいい声も好きだし、裏庭に咲く花々もあなたが我の育てた花を見繕って飾り立ててくれた玄関先も好きだ。
Canus's thoughts keep spewing from his mouth. So much love. Those words tickle me a little, but they are very gentle, and I love them too.
当然のことだが、あなたの入れてくれるいつものエスプレッソも好きだし。
Man, I wish I had an espresso right now, but it's already like the time it is. I don't want to overdo it.
もちろん。
Oh, Canus, no, he hit me with the I love you. Ah. Okay. Stop. I'm fangirling. I'm not gonna lie. Dots from me. More dots from me. Huh? I don't think Canus realized what he said. I know. Look at his neck explosion of powder. I guess that's his love bomb. Canus tries to stop the words that spill out by covering the area where his mouth should be. But his actions further prove that what I just heard wasn't a mistake. That's from me.
いや、今のは、こう、自然と。
You meant it. Natural? I suddenly hear my heart beat loudly. My breathing and train of thought halt. Only the sound of my beating heart. More dots from me. More dots from Canus. I can't see his face, obviously. However, I can understand how Canus feels right now, and painfully so. Canus, will you say something?
確かに、この沈黙はよろしくないな。前期の話。
No, not the small talk. He said the weather. It changes like throughout the day. What else is there to say, bro? Oh my goodness, let's go. Because undoubtedly, whatever's inside his chest must be the exact same warm feeling that I have. That's from me. That's from Canus.
話は終わりましたか?
Vin Dog here to interrupt the moment, but all right, let's go. Back to the blue Canus. Blue smoke Canus. All right.
ベンニーヤ。
How long have you been there? Yeah, long enough with the dots, I'm assuming.
まあ答えても構いませんが、あなたが精神的な傷を負うだけかと。
It's no grief on my part. I didn't say I love Canus, even though I do love Canus. Canus said he loves me, so he should be grieving. More dots for me. I came to Medio with such determination, yet my face turned so red out of embarrassment that I want to run back home instantly.
僕がどこまで見ていたのかはさておき、僕としては今の一幕について拍手を送りたい気分です。
Vendog, no. Deep down inside, he knows. Why an applause? Vendog laughs bitterly at my piercing eyes, then breaks into a light smile.
本当に心からの称賛ですよ。今のは僕が知る限り初めて見るカヌスの姿でしたから。友人の端くれとしては少しばかり嬉しくもなります。
Aww. That's so cuteness. Overload. That's from me. Canus and I face each other subconsciously in response to his words.
思い出そう。まさかお前の口からそんな言葉を聞くことになろうとは。
あなたが変わろうとしたのと同様、僕も変わろうと思ったまでです。
Vendog's smiling face was much more beautiful than his usual stern, cold look. Aw, that's me.
あなたがいてくれてよかった。
I'm glad to be here.
あなたがアンシャンテのマスターでよかった。
But what? Oh my goodness, what's going on now?
そう、変わらなければ、変えなければいけないんだ。
Vendog? Vendog's expression changes. His eyes are filled with sorrow. Before I can ask him what's going on, he turns away from us and begins to walk. Afterwards, he says he needs to check on the area that was gouged out of the world tree for any abnormalities. After parting ways with Canus, I accompany Vendog and return to Titania. I tell her that I heard everything regarding what had happened to the fairy world, Medio. I tell her of my conversation with Canus.
そうか。この妖精界メディオについてのすべてを知ったか。
Titania takes a small sigh and nods with glazed eyes.
妖精殺しはこの世界の代償。そなたが知る必要はないと伏せておったのじゃが、そのせいで何やらカヌスともいさかいが起きてしまったと聞いた。言葉ばかりの謝罪ではあるが、すまぬな。
It's okay. It's okay. I was just being nosy. There's no need for you to apologize. In response to Titania's lowered head, I wave my hand with a strong conviction.
ええ、そうですよ姉さん。謝罪の必要は全くありません。むしろ感謝してもらう方が正しいかと。
何 女。何やら意味深じゃが、どういう意味かわかるか？
I plead the fifth. What? I wonder what he's talking about. Vindog smirks. No matter how I look at it, he must be referring to my talk with Canus. But that wasn't something worth telling anyone or everyone, so I decided to pretend to be ignorant. Besides, right now, we should be thinking about how to face the dangers Medio is threatened with. More importantly, Titania, Vindog, about the problems Medio is facing. Is there any way that the people of Enchant and I can help in any capacity? That's from Vindog. Canus is a very important person to both me and Enchant. If he's in trouble, we want to be of help. Plus, Titania, Vindog, simply as your friends, if there's anything I can do, I want to contribute to your cause. Having said that, I don't have any powers, so there's not much I can do. Right, that's from Titania.
ありがとう。異界の友人よ。わしらの世界を憂いてくれて。
That's from Vindog. It'll be okay. My regular customers are all extremely powerful. With everyone here, we should be able to find a way to tame that world tree.
そうじゃな。絶望ばかりはしていられぬ。嘆くのはすべての手を尽くしてからじゃ。では、任せてばかりで済まぬが、早速。
You can count on me. I'll rally everyone up. Time to rabble. Everybody at Enchant.
待ってください。
What's up, Vindong? You over here holding up everybody. What's up? What was supposed to be the rest of Titania's thought is gently cut off by Vindog's voice.
ミーヤ、どうしたのじゃ？
He's facing down, looking somewhat tormented, and the words that followed did sound rather painful.
アンシャンテのみんなが揃ったところで、世界中の悲劇を、妖精ぐらいを、間違いなく鎮めることができるのですか？
Yes, it would stop it. I don't know for sure yet, but...
じゃが、きっと何かしらの方法があるはずじゃ。
Vindog quietly shakes his head in response to our words. That's from Vindog.
きっとではダメなんですよ。確実に、絶対に、何としてでも。僕の目の前にある悲劇を拭うには、一分の隙もあってはならない。たとえどれだけ最強のメンツであっても、絶対の保証がなくては。僕の考え以外には今さら同意できないんだ。
Your own? And as if to respond to my muttering, he positions himself between me and Titania and stares at me dead in the eye.
今一度問わせてください。
Let's go.
あなたはこの世界を救ってくれますか？あなたは姉さんを救ってくれますか？たとえそれが茨の道だとして何か。
Oh, I don't like the sound of that, even if it may be a path of sacrifice. I mean, we do have to consider the previous fairy of death, but she was alone, so I don't think we would have the same problem. I mean, because Monsieur and Ignis handled that wormhole situation back on Awasaki Island, So, I mean, when you think about that wormhole and everything that came out of that thing, I feel like we're up to it. We can do it. His eyes are unwavering. Though I don't know its true meaning, it's clear that he wants to save Titania and change this world of his. Ooh, y'all. I know it's going to probably be a decision. If it's a decision and I have to sacrifice myself, it's no, I don't care about Canus that much. But no, I'm not going to say that, y'all. I love Medio. I love all the worlds. I'm still looking forward to Miss Sear's world. I can't wait to visit number 2's world as well. We've only visited Ignis's world, which is Bestia, and then now this one. So I'm really looking forward to those two. So, with uncompromising determination, I respond to him. Let's go. I will save this world. It may sound naive, but I believe in Canus and the people of Enchant. So, despite the sacrifices you're referring to, I want to save them. Yes, my queen. That's from Vindog.
そうですか。どこまでもお人よしなのはカヌスとそっくりでお似合いですよ。
I'll take that as a compliment. He extends his right hand for a handshake. I smile and take his hand.
ごめんなさい。
Apology accepted. In an instant, oh, what the heck's going on? What? With a snap of Vindog's finger, he pulls Titania out from behind him and a replacement. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, y'all, this low down, dirty Vindog looking she, let me stop. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I am thrown into the empty throne, but like how, so I guess this is gonna make Canus and everybody else act, because if they're just like, oh, we're helping out, they would have still helped out though. What the heck? Let's go. Right, yeah. And before I can realize the truth, a horrifying sensation as terrifying tentacles entangle me relentlessly from all sides of the throne. Oh my gosh. Wow. Titania, you was in on it with your innocent expression. You was in on it. Don't just stand there saying, huh? Huh, what? Oh my gosh. That's my in pain sounds. Oh my gosh. I've no clue what just happened. A pale-faced Titania tries to run toward me, but Vindog grabs her arm tightly and never lets go. Wow. See, this is why you shouldn't get involved in other people's problems.
近づかないで姉さん。あなたが近づけば計画が台無しです。
Wow.
私が解放されたのはそなたの仕業なのか。そもそも人間の娘に世界樹の花嫁の代わりは務まらぬ。こんなことをしたところで。
Right, that's the plan. To get others all agitated and rush to save me and all that jazz.
師弟というのは時に厄介ですね。すぐに考えていることがバレてしまうのだから。
Shaken by an ever violent quake, Vendog, with his usual expressionless face, speaks quietly.
このままでは彼女は死ぬ。
Yeah.
であれば助けるでしょう。彼は
I called it. I might as well be your sibling too, because I could have saw your plan a whole mile away.
何としてでも助けるはずだ。世界の相手で。彼がこの不条理な世界をきっと殺してくれる。二度と不条理な見栄など捧げることなどないよ。この忌まわしき世界中を殺してくれるんだ。
いや、なんということを。
Oh, I'm just over here getting chomped on. Oh! Ah! Right. Ain't no one saving my face now. Dang.
そうです。思い切り泣いてください。カヌスにアンシャンテに届くほどに。カヌスは死を告げる妖精として悲劇の目を刈り取ってきた。ですが、たかが目を摘んだところで死ぬ樹木など存在するはずもない。幹を切り根を断つ。彼にしてもらいたいのはただそれだけ。
Vendog smiles again, as if to hide the pain, the torment, and the conflict. With the same face that called him a friend,
僕は信じています。彼は大切なあなたのためにこの世界中を殺してくれると。
back to Canus' side. I'm surprised he didn't hear me screaming my whole life on the line and everything. What the heck?
ここがホールが開いたというのは。
Just as I heard from Vendog, this must be the aftermath of the wormhole. In front of me is a large hole gouged out from the trunk. Considering the size of the world tree, it is a negligible wound. Regardless, it was large enough for the world tree to recognize that it had been attacked.
せめてもう少しずれていれば、さほど刺激せずに済んだだろうが。言ってもせんなきことか。
As I muttered to myself, I realized something. Surrounding the gorged out bark is a tiny white powdery substance scattered about.
はい。なぜこんな場所に灰が。
I look around, but I can't see anything that would create this much ash. In this world of Medio, there is no such thing as fire. It looks somewhat familiar to me, but as I try to figure it out, what it is, my surroundings suddenly roar with life.
またか。
The world tree's roar is gradually occurring more frequently. The chances of it not waking is slim to none.
そうなれば何が起こっても不思議ではない。まずは彼女を返さなければ。
Yeah, too late for that. The largest quake I have felt yet engulfs my surroundings enough to cut me off entirely. The fairies that were hiding in the area come rushing out, and in their path. Oh my goodness, y'all just like a blooming flower, a mysterious shadow appears. Oh, the previous queen? Oh my goodness. That's from whoever this is.
違う。やめろ。そいつに近づくな。
I'm just tired of y'all misgendering folk. How you just gonna assume this is a him, a he? The moment the shadow engulfed her, the fairy tried to scatter, but it was taken captive and soon disappeared. Talking about how does she resemble Titania? But alright. That is right. I know this person. Oh, 500 years ago, she even devoured my predecessor, Banshee. She is the embodiment of all the past World Tree brides. So World Tree brides of the past have been reduced to this form, appearing as part of the World Tree to consume nourishment. As soon as I recognize the threat, I sprint to protect the fairies, the opposite of what I usually do for them. I leap in front of them to try and block the piercing shot. Just like that, I managed to blow it away, but more? Right, that's from the Soul Eaters. Hold on. Similar bodies immediately start to rise from the surrounding area. As I fight to protect the fleeing fairies, a medley of flowers begin to rain down above my head. From the flowers, I hear a familiar voice. My rage-filled scream echoes, and while my sword cuts down the enemies, Vindog's soft voice melted into battle. Trifling, just a trifling Vindog. No! What is going on? Why do y'all keep doing me like this? Right when it gets to the juice, it's getting to the juice! How are you gonna just throw me on to the whole stage like that, Vindog? I'm on the throne and my life force is being sucked out, y'all. It's not even fair. But thank you so much, you all that have been tuning in so far to this story of Canus's chapters. I believe there's only one. This is the last one. I'm not sure if it goes like in tandem with the main story because there was 8 chapters before it switched to Canus's. So who knows? I can't wait for Ignis's and number 2s and Messiers and Rendos. Heck, I'm ready for all of them. So upcoming after this Cafe and Shant, I'm gonna work in like I'm not quite sure, to be honest. It may be Resident Evil Outbreak. Of course, it'll be Death Stranding, some more Mafia 3. I'm gonna try to get back to Hogwarts. I'm got Kiosk coming out this weekend, so you'll be seeing Kiosk and then this video. And then I got a couple of more indie horror games, such as The Convenience Store, that was from the same makers of Shinkansen Zero. And I also have another indie game, I believe it's a horror game, but it's called Stalked. So I mean, it has to be a horror game with a title like that, right? So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe with a little bell jingle to stay tuned in, my wonderful people filled with greatness. And as always, much love, much peace, and catch you on the flip side.